Team Liquid now 1 game away from punching their ticket to Sao Paulo.
And that would be huge for them. They would also join the tiebreaker at the end of the day against the winner of that next match to be able to decide who's going to be in that 3rd and who is going to be in that 4th spot. That, of course, matters for seeding, for who you're going to be playing against. So we'll be seeing what they're going to be mixing up here for game number 2. If you haven't been watching this split, Fearless bans are in. Those bans in the center of the screen is all the champions that they played last time, they cannot play this time. It's basically the TLDR, so the further you get into the series, more and more champions are banned, and it just kind of force you a little bit deeper into those champion pools, which I've been enjoying a lot, even though in best of 3, it's not like you're getting that crazy. Best of 5, I think, is where it gets a little bit more wacky when you get to game 4, game 5. But best of 3, it's still been a lot of fun.
I mean, I'm just a big fan of it in general because I think that one thing that's cool about League of Legends is the sheer number of characters available to play in the game. But in any given pro meta, it's somewhere between, what, 20 and 40 that commonly get played. So I like being able to see that expand a little bit more, get some more champion variety.
I would love for Fearless to be permanent, just like global, all events, everything. I think it would be a lot of fun, personally. But let's see exactly who is...
well, this dude's never disappearing no matter what. Ksante has been a pro play staple ever since he released. He is always going to get played every Fearless series, pretty much guaranteed. And Ksante into Jayce going to be our first 2 picks here, as it is Pantheon, Cassiopeia, Aurora banned away. The Pantheon ban, first set of the bans this time around. Again, focusing CoreJJ there on TL with the Skarner, the Yone, and the Kalista banned out by Team Liquid. Remember, Yone was the one where Palafox had his pop-off game last week to get Shopify here. Team Liquid saying, we already beat you once. We only have to do it a 2nd time. We make sure you don't get Yone. It should be that much easier.
Yeah, this would be really interesting. I'm curious if this is going to be a Jayce going mid lane or top lane. Impact did not play a single Jayce game all last year. Of course,
Azir.
Yeah, so well now then it is for sure going to be going top lane. Excuse me, I kind of started looking at the stats before I saw that. But tank Jayce has also been nerfed on this patch. So they nerfed the base damages, they increased the damage ratios on the abilities. So it's supposed to be kind of like neutral for AD Jayce, like full poke Jayce, but a nerf for that tank Jayce that we've been seeing so often. So I'm going to be really curious to see what style Impact does play. Is it still that grasp Shojin full kind of tank style, or is he going to go more standard to what we used to see in those previous years?
Yeah, be interesting. We'll keep our eyes on it. Over on the other side, the response to the Jayce and the Azir is we've got Akali and we've got Ezreal. Ezreal, one of those very safe AD carries that often you end up seeing paired with a support who is good at roaming. Let Zeyzal loose, have him move around the map, try to facilitate plays elsewhere, while Ezreal sits back and presses Q from 1,200 units away, farms safely. Totally fine with that one. I wonder what that sign says.
I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, I'm just making sure that I was like, because I know that you were studying Korean there for like a week, right?
For like a year.
Oh, I thought you said you were doing it for like a week, but then you were like, you weren't doing it frequently enough.
No, I was doing it every day, but I just wasn't doing it very long every day, so I wasn't learning very much.
Okay, so you got like a week's worth in a year.
Exactly. That's probably more fair.
So what's it say?
I don't know. Maybe if I can look at it for a while,
All right. I guess it put you on the spot a little bit there.
Yeah,
That's my bad.
Akali's going to be exciting, though. Akali Azir here is one of those matchups we used to see a lot of in previous years, but it is obviously high risk, high reward here. You missed your child's birth to be here? Ain't no way, bro. Your wife is not forgiving you.
Watch. It's actually a long con. The kid's going to grow up and become like the faker of Team Liquid.
Yeah.
And that's the full send. He has to be there to establish the baseline.
Then he makes the World Finals, but he doesn't get his dad a ticket because he missed his birth.
Oh, that's the
Directed by M. Night Shyamalan
twist. Yes, let's go. All right. Let's see what we get in our second half here, because it is some support focus in the second half of the draft for the bans from Team Liquid. They are going to get rid of Leona and Elise. That is primarily a support these days. We're also going to see some jungle bans on the other side as Sejuani and Poppy are taken off the table by Shopify. What is the first pick in this second half going to be for Team Liquid? And it will be Rakan to pair with the Kaisa in the bottom lane.
Okay, so Rakan Kaisa, hard engaged there. Going to be exciting to see how this does play out. Zeyzal, if he does go for the Braum, obviously it's a pretty strong answer into both the Jayce and the Kaisa. It's a really strong team fighter, but it is not a great roamer like you were talking about, utilizing one of the strengths of the Ezreal to be able to kind of get out on the map.
I like that sign. Bug. The guy knows what he wants. I don't think he's going to be able to get that this game. I don't think
you have to respect that still.
Yeah, he's still hoping. He's like, all right, I got like a 1% chance in Fearless.
Like the people that are still coming. I was gonna say Teemo, and then we see a Teemo sign. It's like the people that show up with the Teemo signs pick Teemo. That thing hasn't been picked in forever. Yeah. But you got to respect the dedication.
But the day that it does, the fans in the audience with the Teemo signs on that day, they're going to know.
That is their Christmas morning, you know?
That is it right there. We'll get the Wukong in the jungle instead. You can see the numbers blipped up real quick there just for a second. Currently 5-1 in the LTA. So very, very effective pick. We know that this guy can scrap. We know that he can team fight. Just very effective in a lot of situations.
It is a really strong pick. Also got some nerfs on this patch. So did get knocked down a little bit. Was one of those champions that did get focused as far as that is concerned. And Volibear would be fun. I know Kobe would be excited to see that getting locked in.
I was about to say, I
wouldn't be shocked to see it. So Volibear does get locked in. Hasn't been played so far this split, but is quite a strong jungler. And I'm curious to see, what sort of build he goes for. Sundered's guy was always like the old kind of norm, but I know Kobe is a big fan of Cosmic Drive. He thinks that is kind of the best first item. These kind of hybrid AP ones that has a lot of good stats. And so there's a lot of different builds that he's going. I think Kobe these days, he goes like Cosmic into, I want to say like Iceborne, Spirit Visage, and then late he goes Flicker Blade to kind of win duels and stuff. So he has his own build that he's cooked up that works really well for him. Kobe, if you don't know, is a Volibear one trick, has been for what, a couple years now?
Yeah, his mouse pad has Volibear on it. His keyboard has Volibear on it. His mouse has Volibear on it. His screen always and nothing but Volibear on it.
So he's definitely a Volibear enthusiast. Is a really strong early game jungler. Can really facilitate tower dives very well. You can play it very aggressive. It can be great as far as the invades are concerned. And I'm also going to be curious to see how quick the clear is for Umti, because Kobe was telling me that all the pros are doing the Volibear clear wrong, and that you can actually do a 3-minute clear with no leash 1 smite, and basically just be like AFK waiting, or maybe it was 305, but around there.
Okay, fast.
I don't want to misquote him, but very, very fast. He talks a lot about keeping the passive stacks up permanently the entire time, pulling the next camps, further and further towards the next one. So you're always having that passive stack the entire time. And felt that a lot of the pros, just weren't doing the optimal clear, and that was kind of putting them behind. And, it allows you, if you do it that fast, actually even like look for a gank or look for some sort of invade or something before the scuttle even spawns. So definitely can be advantageous with a really powerful early game champion like the Volibear. So it'll be fun to see how Umti does with it. And we'll get Kobe's VOD review on the clear later on.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear Kobe's opinion on this, however it ends up going.
Kobe's in the studio.
Yeah.
Kobe,
go
over there.
Go throw Raz off the couch and take his spot.
Kick Raz out.
I can't remember the last time I saw Raz play Volibear.
Exactly. Never.
No. Is there a single Raz Volibear game in the history of League of Legends? I don't know.
There might not be.
Maybe in an ARAM.
There might be.
Raz plays a lot of ARAM.
Let's just say there hasn't. There hasn't been a single
let's just go ahead and assume.
Raz has never even seen a Volibear.
All right, Raz doesn't even know that Volibear is in this game.
Kick him out of there.
Okay.
Get him out of there, Kobe. I want the Kobe Volibear VOD review.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
After this game.
Let's see how good Umti can pilot this. Team Liquid, they just need one more game. They're going to Brazil. They're happy. Shopify, game number 1 wasn't close. Not past about, I don't know, 6 minutes at least. It really was that first dragon fight that swung it from an even state to Team Liquid favored, and it never recovered for Shopify Rebellion.
So it is going to be Grasp on the Jayce. Of course, you can just take Grasp for laning and still do a more damage-heavy build. You don't have to fully commit to going pure tank. There are also these kind of like more hybrid builds where people will rush Cleaver against Ksante or go like Cleaver Shojin and kind of like bruisery, but not full tank.
Yeah.
So going to be curious to see what Impact does go for as far as that is concerned, and we'll see how Umti is clearing. Is going to be playing lethal tempo, pretty standard. Very, very strong for the extended duels, and Contractz will have to be careful about any of these 2v2s and stuff that he runs into where Umti is there, because Volibear is just such a beast in these early fights.
Very tough to deal with. Also, again, I'm going to be keeping an eye on Zeyzal. I want to see if he can get out of this lane, find some opportunities to use this Alistar, cause some chaos early on in the other lanes, invade with his jungler if he gets the opportunity. Down in the bottom lane, it's CoreJJ and Yeon with early control over the lane, though. You can see Bvoy popping that barrier, not getting a lot of value out of it. APA losing out in the trades back in mid lane.
I mean, he wasn't even trading. Like, he just like walked into his face and took 300 damage. I think he was trying to get in XP range or something. Because we were in the split screen, you couldn't actually see everything. So it felt like he was trying to either go for a last hit or get in XP range for something. Umti going to go for an invade here. Did 3 camp clear topside. Is going to be a bit late. Maybe going to take a couple of those mini raptors.
2 baby chickens, plus 16 gold.
So not too bad, but this is one of the things you can do. You can just get in the opponent's face and fight. When your lanes are pushing, you just go fight. You win all these skirmishes, so Umti is going to get in there, and there's no smite.
Yeah, Zeyzal's now the one in some trouble down here in the bottom lane. Ignite from CoreJJ. Drop side enemy support down to 200 HP. No defensive summoner spells.
Oh, he reset it.
Used by Zeyzal there. Yeah, Umti losing some time here on the patience loss down to 0 on the red buff. Contractz just going to continue trying to take his Krug camp instead. Umti still working on this. It looks like the ward inside the brush. Is that still there? Yes. Okay, we still got the ward inside the brush for Contractz, but Umti with the smite guarantees that he takes the red and he'll leave.
Exactly, and it's a really smart re-invade there from Umti. You go to the Raptors, Contractz smites it, you don't get them, but that doesn't matter because now he has no smite for the red, so you can force your hand there. And you can see Fudge taking the bad end of a trade here as Impact just utilizing that early game power. Contractz going to go up towards that top side, take the scuttle there. Not going to be set that far behind. It's honestly not the end of the world, but this is something you always want to be doing as a Volibear. Utilize that early game power, get in the face of the opponents, and so far, so good there for Umti.
I mean, I feel like one thing that makes Volibear so scary in these invade type situations, he has not one, but 2 different abilities that are simultaneously reinforcing his own health bar, either through shielding or healing, while also damaging yours.
Yeah.
Right? The E does a ton of damage plus the shield. The Ws after the first one are all also healing you.
Yep.
It just makes him deceptively difficult to bring down.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you talk about early game fights, auto attack resets are always very powerful, right? The
Yeah.
Q is an auto attack reset, basically. The W is an auto attack reset. Like these are, you can auto instant pop your ability. It's going to be really, really powerful in those early game fights. As APA did end up basing, did not use the teleport. Palafox has not gone back to base yet and has not bought. Still has that teleport, of course. And Umti going to be spotted up on this top side as he is still out on the map. Just going to do his Raptors, likely then reset and grab his first buy, and we'll get to find out what he's going to do. I'm going to assume it is going to be just like Sundered Sky, because that has always been kind of the stock standard in pro play, but it would be cool to see if he's doing kind of more of that like AP hybrid that I know Kobe is a really big fan of, and I know has much better win rate in solo queue. I've messed around with it quite a bit as well, and it does feel very, very good.
Well, one of the things that I always also like to see is, because, you know, we're talking about what's established, what's been popular in pro, but back in Champ Select when we saw this locked in, it's currently 0-0 so far this year.
Yep.
Have things changed enough to mess with that mindset? Because that is one thing I feel like we get a lot of in Pro League of Legends is kind of this just steadfastness of mindset, even if you should be more malleable.
This is what you do.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yep.
It just gets ingrained and it becomes just this reactionary thing where you're just autopiloting through some of the items.
Oh, I think he might be going Cosmic. So he did get the Kindle Gem, and he does have an Amp
I like
Tome.
that.
So this is the build that I know Kobe is a really big fan of. You know, he told it to me. I've messed with it. I think it's really fun. A lot of good stats there for the Volibear. And, you know, this item, even without the proc, is like ridiculously gold efficient.
It's like 130. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Is very, very gold efficient. So it's quite powerful.
Oh, Impact versus Fudge. Again, I feel like every time we pan up here, it's just a quick trade and Impact's winning slightly.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you expect from Jayce. I mean, Jayce is an early game powerhouse, you know, in that early lane, especially with the grasp. It just kind of makes it even more of that bully lane. And, you know, I'm expecting him just go more of that kind of like bruiser, hybrid. We'll see if he does go full tank here, but I don't really think there's a need, especially since the nerfs came through.
Well, Umti's gone ahead and already collected the first Drake of the game for Team Liquid. Now looking down here at the bottom lane.
Collect the first kill.
Yeah, this could be some dangerous territory. Bvoy does have his barrier. Zeyzal does have his ignite. So it looks like Team Liquid is not interested in a dive, at least not yet. Zeyzal immediately going in to jump after Yeon. CoreJJ, the counterattack with a grand entrance. They're too close to the enemy tower. They can't afford to go all in on the scrap, but they do want to keep it going. CoreJJ and Yeon may have overplayed their hand here a little bit. Zeyzal with the flash, double knock up. It's first blood over to Shopify Rebellion, but Umti is hungry for a little bit of revenge. They find a knock up on Zeyzal, and the lightning comes crashing down. It's a 1-for-1, make it a 2-for-1. Ends up actually being a 2-for-2 as Fudge gets a solo kill on Impact in the top side of the map.
Yeah, he's able to take down Impact. Trade of flashes up there, went all out, took him down. That is big, and what a play from Zeyzal. The aggressive movement there. They knew that Volibear was behind them. They didn't want to allow Volibear to just get set up to go for this early dive, so they just went really aggressive. They preempt the play. They're able to take down Yeon. Still, I do think it's a good play in the 2v2 for TL because they lose the minions down here on that bot side, and Bvoy tried to sneak out. Unfortunately, ended up giving a kill over to the Azir, who caught him. So ends up still being pretty good for TL because they had the extra member, but great plays here from Zeyzal. Waits until they stack up a little bit too close. They go together to try to get that Rakan Q heal, and as they group up for that, he gets in the stun, then is able to step forward here, looks for the passive auto. They're just hitting whatever is closest, throws in the ignite. Core has to get back, and then flash Q, knocks it back up. Q flash as well comes in from Bvoy, point blank to nail that Mystic shot was very, very key on Yeon. So honestly, really well played by both of them in the 2v2, getting those kills against, I think, one of the best performing, if not the best performing 2v2 in the league right now. That's a big step up moment, and then just back towards that top side. This looks like this was the end of it. You get hit by the Q3, it's always going to be really, really scary.
Yep.
And it looked like we had missed where Jayce flashed. Jayce must have flashed earlier on in that play. So it's just a flash follow there from Fudge after that summoner was down, and he's able to get a big kill on the top side.
Fudge happy to pick that one up, keep the kills nice and even, still makes it just a single extra kill, going to earn you progress towards checkmarking that first feat for either one of the teams. Remember that Team Liquid was able to secure those in the first game through kills and owning all 3 of the first neutral objectives. This time around, things are already looking better for Shopify. Yeah, they're still down a little bit in gold, but they got the first set of grubs. They're feeling a lot more on even ground after things have hit this 9-minute mark.
I mean, it's a way more competitive game. You can see Umti, though, again, just constantly invading. He took away the red buff. Yes, he's warded out on the Krugs, but he's going to be able to take those away very likely also. Contractz is coming down here really just to kind of make sure that Palafox didn't get dove, but the problem is you're going to be pathing down here. There's no camps available. Umti already took everything, so Contractz is kind of jobless here. And we'll see if he can find any sort of an angle for a play, because now there's some pressure on him. Impact may be overstaying, though.
Yeah, Impact really greeting out for the plate. Contractz first to jump in, wants to hit him with the Cyclone, finds plenty of damage for the setup, and Palafox gets the payoff.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of know there's no camp from him on top side. You have wards all over bot side, so it's like he's got to be going somewhere, right? And you were pushed up that far very aggressively. Umti had already backed off, so Impact overstays. They know he has no flash, so Contractz is confident to pop the flash in, just Nimbus strike forward, pops the flash, does get knocked back, but it doesn't really matter because there was nowhere for Impact to go with Palafox TPing in, and it's a good play there for Shopify, a much more even game 2. And they're getting some gold where they want it, right? It's both the soul laners have a kill here early, Bvoy has a kill as well, and we'll see what they can do to snowball.
Yeah, that felt like it was just, it was a little too greedy from Impact. I mean, you've already taken the second plate. You know that it's getting that reinforcement. It's going to be that much harder to kill the third one. Just felt too disrespectful for me as APA versus Palafox up here in this top side. Again, Palafox farming just fine, has his completed rocket belt thanks to the extra money that he got from that kill secured in the bottom lane down there. Fudge now going to be once again heading down to deal with Impact as the lanes have swapped position. 30 seconds till the Drake, 15 till the second group of grubs. CoreJJ hanging around with his ultimate, but no flash to go with it. Umti having ulti and flash, both of these tools available. Volibear turret dives are very scary.
Yeah, and they had Contractz caught on that ward just in the entrance to the river over by grubs, so Contractz was spotted. They know that he was there. Umti and TL, they were looking for a play topside, but they don't need to get one because they can always go right back towards the grubs. Palafox will get the information that they're over here. Contractz is coming as well, and Zeyzal is going to be here first.
Yeah, Umti is stuck inside this pit. He will
here comes Core.
Potentially have to ult defensively, but CoreJJ is ready to join up and reinforce the jungler. Damage from Yeon over the wall, but it ain't going to be enough. Umti having to flash away to stay safe. APA defensive Emperor's Divide as the grubs are now under the control of Shopify, who have secured 5, make it 6. It's a full grub collection for the Rebellion.
Yeah, that is huge. And TL, honestly, kind of a bit disappointed with how they set that up because they had 3 members sitting in that top pixel brush for a long time. And they kind of just ended up ceding position even with those extra people up there. And so at the end of the day, they don't get anything, not even one grub. Even if you just took 1 grub and were able to get out of there, you'd be feeling so much better about your positioning. Giving over 6 is really brutal for these side lane plays.
Feels bad, man. APA throwing some soldiers, some wards into that brush as Palafox wanted to see if he could ambush him there open with the Shuriken flip. Could potentially threaten a very dire situation for APA. Maybe force that flash, but once the Shuriken misses, you lose so much of the combo potential. Team Liquid going to take this opportunity, secure their second Drake for the game, and it will be Hex Soul this time around as Team Liquid's up 2-0 in that count early on. This does, once again, Azael, put us at a very even state in terms of the neutral objectives too, as it's all all the grubs for one side, all the drakes for the other side. Next neutral objective is the one that determines the feats, and that's going to be the Herald here in about 3.5 minutes.
Yep, we'll see exactly who's going to be able to grab it. I mean, if Shopify do, they have that feats of strength, and they'll be able to claim that for themselves. Zeyzal used the Hex Gate, got over here behind APA, and APA hasn't bought. He is pretty weak. We'll see if they go for the dive.
He already used the ultimate earlier as well. APA trying to stay safe. Palafox hit that shuriken, but unfortunately there's just not enough minions. It would be way too dangerous to try to go for the dive.
Still going to feel really good. Zeyzal uses nothing except his W, gets the flash, right? You know, didn't commit the ulti, didn't commit a flash of his own, so they don't overcommit. They're able to force out that flash. Now the TP is going to be coming down. Does get back to base, buys the Nashers, and Core is up here to cover. You can see Impact has completed his Black Cleaver, so is going more for that Bruiser kind of style so far. We'll see what he does with the tier, if it is going to be Fimbulwinter or if he wants to go towards that Muramana. But Palafox must be sitting on quite a lot of gold here. He's been out on the map for a while, and yeah, 1,500 gold in pocket.
Much better game two from Shopify, especially just seeing the fact that they were able to go for that play top, take the flash that you get, back away, not overcommit. That's a good look, I think, as APA is now under pressure yet again, and Contractz is ready to make sure that pressure drowns him. Nice use of the Wukong ulti. Needs one more hit to guarantee it, and he'll take it just fine. Shopify up 4-2.
Yeah, nicely done. Able to get a pick there onto APA. You know, missing the flash from earlier. They're able to get in, do take him down. Cost him a fair bit. It was the flash from Zeyzal, the flash from Palafox as well, and a bunch of ultimates there. So they do spend quite a bit. Umti's going to be down on this bot side. Is spotted, but we'll see if Fudge feels comfortable to try to hold his ground at this tower, because of course Umti can turn the tower off.
All right, looks like they're going to try to put enough damage into the tower to just knock the thing over in its entirety. Umti going in after Fudge as they complete the take on the turret, but Fudge wants to go all out. Umti in some danger now here on the Volibear. Defensive ulti for the escape as Team Liquid will just take the tier 1 turret.
Yep, going to be able to grab that for themselves. And nicely done. Does cost them the ult, but it's a trade of ults at the end of the day, and they grab the tower, so they're going to be feeling pretty happy about that. Umti been putting some good pressure on, hasn't gotten involved in too many plays, but honestly has been pretty effective. You know, some aggressive counter jungling, which was kind of his MO, honestly. You know, coming from the LCK, it was known as a guy who liked to be in their face, and you talked about it earlier on in the series, but back in spring last year, TL kind of had this, you know, moment where they decided, you know what, we're going to try to change our playstyle. We're going to play more aggressively. We're going to fight over objectives. We're going to fight over buffs. We're going to fight over camps, and kind of just decided that they needed to have the confidence to fight for anything that they think they should win. They're just willing to scrap for it, and a lot of that was around the counter jungling from Umti and him and Core pairing up and really just scrapping, especially anytime they got a lead.
Looking at the inventories here again real quick, we've got those Trinity Forces online in a couple of different spots there for Contractz and for Bvoy. You already commented on the Nashor's Tooth completed for APA in the mid lane on TL. Cosmic Drive on the Volibear, it's what we were expecting according to the Book of Kobe. Now he's got that Aegis of the Legion right there next to it. We'll see what he decides to evolve that into with a completed item, because right now Team Liquid is bringing down some more help to once again go after the Fudge factor. Impact and Umti are going to need more damage though. Ksante is so tanky. That's it, man. Fudge can get away. Yes, he is down flash now, but they'll be happy enough with it. Rift Herald spawning and Contractz right on top of it means topside river control belongs to Shopify for now.
Yeah, Fudge is going to be able to hang on, but they're going to try to threaten the dive.
Fudge in trouble for now, but he goes all out yet again. Umti just shot to pieces. Shopify's playing so much better, but Team Liquid seems so out of sorts here in the second game, too.
Yeah, they try to go for that dive. I'm not sure if Umti maybe thought he had his ulti or just didn't, you know, kind of underestimated what Fudge could do from that position, but ended up getting pretty aggressive. Had the tower on him, and Fudge just goes all out. Umti doesn't have the ulti to actually turn off the enemy tower, and now Fudge TP's up towards topside. They want to be able to grab this final objective here for the feats. First tower, of course, went the way of TL, and we can see Impact looking for Palafox.
Impact wants the trade here, but can he finish what he started? Palafox tries to make enough distance as Yeon shows up, flies in with a killer instinct to back up his top laner. But the wild thing, Azael, is I feel like for the past 5 minutes, we've mostly just been talking about how much better Shopify is doing. It feels like Team Liquid's kind of lost, making some goofy decisions, but they have actually been in control still with the gold lead. Only just now did Shopify pass them.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very, very close game. It's going to come down to team fights, though, and that this year has been one of the things that a lot of pros are talking about is a weakness of TL. One of the things that they feel they are struggling with is actually their 5v5. So if they're not able to get this big advantage, then Shopify definitely in with a chance. as we go further into this game. The feats obviously were claimed there by Shopify. They have the upgraded boots now, which is going to feel really nice. Third dragon, though, going the way of TL is very concerning. 3 uncontested dragons when it is Hex Tech Soul. That is not something you can afford to give up. So now Shopify do kind of have that timer. You have got to be there every single time the dragon spawns. If you get picked before it, that's soul. If you have a bad fight, that's soul. You get smite stolen, that's soul. So it is really, really risky, but it has given them a pretty solid foundation. You know, I think they can win fights. The question is, can you be perfect for the rest of the game and never give up that one dragon?
Perfection is a very, very tall ask at any point of a game of League of Legends. We'll see if they can answer, as Team Liquid up the 3 Drakes worth of stats, down 700 raw gold, so still could just go either way. In full agreement with you, it's all about who can execute better. Zeyzal back early on in the bottom lane, setting up that victory in the 2v2 where they were able to outplay Yeon and CoreJJ. I want to see more big moves from this Alistar as we're moving forward. He's got everything in the tank, and Flash Alistar is historically one of the biggest possible playmakers in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really is an explosive support champion here. As top lane pushed in there by TL. It's going to be about 4 minutes until we do get that next dragon spawn. It's always going to be feeling nice when you get those feats of strength upgrades, you know, especially for these AP assassins, because you get additional magic pen on the sword boots. That's one of the nice upgrades there. It's something that you can't just get access to very easily in the game anymore. So yeah, is always going to feel that much better. And it is Fimbulwinter done for Impact, so he's just kind of just going for the build from last patch. It is nerfed, but it is obviously not completely dead or anything like that, and this is what he feels comfortable playing, so that is what he's going to do. Has mostly been pushing through sides, you know, has had pressure, and Umti has been playing pretty heavily towards him. But that being said, he's down gold, and Fudge is the one that's coming up with the kills, both the solo kill and the 1v2 kill this game. So I do wonder how much value is Impact going to be able to have in these 5v5s, because I think Ksante should be able to perform, you know, a lot better than what we're going to see from the Jayce at this point.
Yeah, and when you talk about the 2 kills that Fudge has, I think that first one is very much Fudge playing really well. Now, hold on. Umti could be in some danger. Zeyzal wants to go for the engage there as Impact gets away from Contractz down in the southern part of the river here as well. But no, what I was talking about is Fudge played the 1v1 better. He earned that first kill, whereas I feel like the second one, the 2v1 that you're talking about, was almost gift wrapped to him, which is the misplay from Team Liquid. So a little bit of Fudge good, a little bit of TL bad across this Ksante success so far. But hey, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's still a gold lead for the big dude in the top lane. Fudge enjoying that one now. That gold's going to balloon even higher with the tier 1 turret eliminated in the mid lane. Shopify taking their second turret of the game. Gold lead about 1,000. 2 minutes on the clock until the dragon is alive. And interestingly, the Otacon pit is right next door.
Yeah, exactly. So this next fight is going to be, again, so important. When you do get to this point where you allow your opponents to take 3 early dragons, then Otacon spawns, it can really just quickly turn into a one-fight game. You know, that's kind of what we saw last time, where, you know, there's a lot of pressure on you to win that fight, because now it is that 2-for-1 special. If you get aced in a fight, they're going to take both, and you're going to fall so far behind, as Core will be pushed out. Obviously, great for their dragon setup, though. The Shopify were able to take that tier 1 tower down. That makes it a lot more difficult for TL to kind of push through mid and have that safety. But Umti is just soloing up the Otacon right now. You can see Volibear can easily do this, you know, not really threatened whatsoever, as long as you're just walking out of these abilities. He is just tanking it up, but they are not aware of this, and they give Otacon over for free. That is going to be terrible. It's gone.
What a heist from Team Liquid. A blue trinket way too late is the only thing Shopify does.
And now, how do you fight the soul? Right? Like, that is actually so terrible. Shopify played a very good game for a long time, but now it's going to be GAs, 5 GAs, and you have to win this next fight or you lose soul. So that is absolutely horrible for Shopify. They're going to have to find some way to either smite steal it and get out, or, you know, like full ace them and kill them while they're respawning before they can get back. Like, it is hard to see a way in which, you know, they can win a fight that dominantly when the gold is this close. So it is going to be really, really tough for them. They are going to be kicking themselves for not having vision on that. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not barren. Otacon is pretty easy to take. You can solo it on a lot of champions. And Umti demonstrates that. Yes, he got some assistance at the end, but he got it very low before the team came in and made it obvious.
Yeah, man, that is just, oh, if you're Shopify, you got to be kicking yourself for that one. The game was feeling so good up until that point. Now Umti looking for the opportunity from an engage. CoreJJ with a grand entrance throws Zeyzal up into the air. The Team Liquid doesn't want to overcommit onto an Alistar. That would be one of the ways that you could toss away all these false lives. As Fudge, nice third and Toflo strike on APA, but he's unafraid. He's still ready to just fire back with a couple of those shifting sand soldiers. Team Liquid with control over the bot side. River still got the false lives ready to go. Flash engage coming out from Contractz, but immediately the Emperor's divide from APA. He wants to try to get away. Bvoy can't finish him off. Not with the True Shot Barrage, not yet. Yeon grabbing the first kill as Contractz dies. Zeyzal and Fudge are about to follow him straight into the abyss, and Yeon is going all the way. Just when you thought Shopify had played a good 20 minutes of League of Legends, Team Liquid undoes it all with one Otacon and one team fight.
Yeah, TL roars to life there, and they didn't even need the Otacon. They didn't have a single one of those Otacon GAs pop. They just straight up win the team fight. So much was committed to trying to take down APA. They can't even get the Azir. He shifts back over the wall. They grab the soul. They get the Otacon. They win the fight. They do it all. And again, now TL 2,000 gold up. They have the soul. We can watch this one more time. They just hard commit. The initial engage is onto core, and then just Cyclones on over to APA. You can see a CC chain pretty good onto APA. Fudge was able to land his stun. We saw the full combo as well from Zeyzal. Palafox is going to be able to force one member to withdraw, but they just couldn't finish off APA, and Yeon was pretty much untouched. And everyone else is just going to be piling in. They don't have to play with any fear because they know even if you die, as long as you're getting enough damage out, you're going to come back and your team is going to win that fight. So TL, take the advantage of that Otacon, really making the most of it. And they are in such a good spot now.
The gold looks like a stock market crash, and the Hex Soul is claimed by TL, man.
It's a meme coin pump and dump.
It feels bad. Shopify's chances just got dumped on that one. This one is now so much more difficult to play. Yes, you've still got the Ksante doing well, but Palafox is in danger as Impact is his reckoning. The Akali wants to get out of it, but no chance, man. Control ward into the brush means there's nowhere to hide. Meanwhile, Yeon and CoreJJ continuing to put some pressure onto the tier 1 turret back in the mid lane. The poke from the Hex Soul combined with the Void Seekers from Kaisa is just so obnoxious.
Yeah, I mean, it is really, really annoying. And the slow is the worst part about it. We're going to see if Fudge can find an outplay.
Yeah, he's dragged APA underneath the turret. This turret is absolutely gunning for the Emperor. Meanwhile, on the other side, Yeon's going to be in some danger at the same time. Contractz looking to chase him down while APA avoids the damage over here underneath the tier 2 turret. Yeon getting away for now. Contractz still in hot pursuit. Meanwhile, Bvoy now in danger as Umti and Impact are ready to collapse on him, and Contractz still trying to find a way to try to help. Bvoy gets away. Everybody gets away. So many low health bars. APA still fighting. Contractz wants to go back in after him, but Yeon gives him the Acathian Rain.
And Team Liquid going to take that Baron very likely. No, okay, never mind. Umti was going to go for it. The rest of the team says, no, calm down. We're going to base. We're going to spend our gold, heal back up. But Impact pushing in mid, and they are going to start it up now here. That's going to be on his own for now. But Impact pushing mid, takes the tier 1. They're going to use those Hex Gates to get right back out on the map so quickly. Hex Gates really do favor the winning team. You just move out on the map that much faster. And now we're going to see APA posturing aggressively.
And now Team Liquid ready to answer Shopify as they come and try to stop this take on the Baron. Impact taking a lot of damage here at the front, but Palafox doing the same, tries to get away. The slows from the Hex Soul are hamstringing Shopify Rebellion. They cannot get all the way away so easily. They do keep everybody else alive. The Baron is going to be stopped. They're wiping the sweat off their foreheads with that one. I just bit my lip in the middle of that call. That hurt. That was not good.
Does sound painful.
Yeah, it was not good, but that's okay. But you know what? It's not as painful as being 5,000 gold down in a game that was dead even 5 minutes ago.
That's true. You're not wrong.
That's a rough one, man. Shopify, they need some kind of big, crazy moment, but how are you going to find it? You don't have the flash on your Wukong. You don't have the flash on your Alistar. It's so tough to make these things happen.
And honestly, it feels like the guy who's been making the biggest plays for them so far has been Fudge, but he also has been kind of getting pushed in by him and Umti, by Impact and Umti. And Ksante alone is not going to be enough to do it, especially when you're down this far.
Might have found a nice pick on the core, though. Nope. Can immediately battle dance right back to the safety of APA. They have a Sun Disc summoned up on the ruins of the enemy tier 1 turret as well. Shopify taking some meaningful chip damage there as they try to clear that mini objective away. As Yeon has found a red buff in the enemy jungle. It's the big bad red buff. I think I remember, I think it was Ludwig told me that when Doublelift was coaching him, Doublelift told him that the super red buff that gives it to your entire team is more important than your inhibitor. So make sure to take that because it's the most important thing you can get.
I can see how an AD carry could come to that conclusion.
No, I was like, this sounds like a very AD carry take, man.
Yeah. Not sure I would agree to that, but...
Yeah. AD carries love their red buffs.
Red buff is strong. I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. Sometimes one inhib doesn't really matter, right? And maybe it's one of those kind of unique situations.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Bvoy, you know, it has farmed up well. He's on 3 items. He's still strong, but it's just going to be very, very hard. It feels like Shopify can always kind of get a little bit of a chunk on someone when they catch them, but they can't really get those full kills. They can't finish them off, and that is making things very, very difficult. You know, Palafox was able to grab, you know, one pretty early kill, but we haven't really seen much from the Akali since then. He is kind of struggling to get involved and find a way into these fights, and now the Baron gonna go down without even contest.
Man, here we go again. Another objective without a fight. Team Liquid have already secured the Baron. Shopify want to get something back. CoreJJ is low, but he's not in any real danger just yet. It's Bvoy and Zeyzal that are gonna die first, and APA takes the kill on Bvoy to kick things off. Contractz hobbling away. A double kill to APA. 4 dead bodies on Shopify Rebellion, and Zeyzal with 100 HP is the only man still breathing.
Team Liquid look like they are going to do it, going to be able to claim one of those final 2 spots here to go to Brazil. They stumbled last week, but they are bouncing back strong.
Game number 1 seems so much more one-sided than this, but Azael, game number 1 ended about 10 seconds shy of 30 minutes. Game number 2 is going to end even faster. Umti might just die to the Nexus turrets. Finally, that last one's going to kill him, but even faster than the first one, Team Liquid wins the second. A clean 2-0 to punch their ticket to Brazil.
Nicely done there by TL, and honestly, this game too felt like it came down so heavily to Dragon Control and a great call to go for that Otacon. Umti just souling up the Otacon, getting it so low before Shopify even realized it was going on, that they come through, they get the GAs, they dominate the fight for the soul, and that was really that.
I mean, that is what it is all about. Game number 1 was all about the first Dragon fight. Game number 2 was all about sneaking the Otacon. I felt like Shopify actually had the bit of the tempo advantage.
Yeah.
Up until that point, they had been making more plays more frequently, but man, League of Legends is such a rough game like that sometimes. One big decision can undo 20 minutes of smaller ones.
I mean, every play is not created equal in League of Legends, right? You know, you can make good play after good play, incremental advantage after incremental advantage. You make a mistake around Baron, around Otacon, around Elder Dragon, around a Soul. Those mistakes, those plays are just worth so much more than all of the other things that you did to get to the point that you were at.
Sad for Shopify. They did look, I think, a lot better in game number 2 up until that moment. Yeah, they were making calls, they were making plays individually, like in the bottom lane with what we saw in the 2v2, as well as a team rotating around to be able to answer what their opponents were doing. Also not overdiving with things like the top lane tier 1 play against APA, but it just all fell apart at the Otacon. Team Liquid going from Otacon to Nexus in 10 minutes or less, or your money back.
Yeah, that is looking good for them. They are going to be going to Brazil, whereas Shopify will have to kind of regroup, retool for split number 2. This is a very, very quick first split. Of course, it's basically, you know, like a kind of mini tournament to kick things off. You know, only a couple weeks in here, they're already gone.
All right, we're going to take another look here at the final fight, which was just Shopify now desperate to try to do something after TL claimed a free Baron.
I mean, you're showing up late, you know, you realize, hey, if they get Baron, they already have Soul, it's probably completely cooked, so they're going to try to force. But Palafox, you know, he arrives on the teleport, but look at where Bvoy is at this point. You know, Bvoy is already completely pushed out. The ultimate has already expired on Alistar. He's fully on the run, so by the time Palafox actually arrives, there's not really much of anything he can actually do. He tries to get into the back line, nothing happening there. TL completely crushed through the fight and are able to take it.
All right, that's about it for the series. Now it's time to join Emily and Umti at the Fan Zone for an interview.
Hello, I am joined here by Umti at the Fan Zone. So first of all, congratulations, Chikaheo.
Thank you.
This was today was a return to form for you, and Swiffer had said you guys were really working together on trying to improve team coordination. So what was your week of prep like?
So like we were actually having a very bad weeks at the scrims because the Saturday, it was Sunday I think, we lost to the 100 Thieves and we lost our mind, I guess. So but I think actually the Jake, like Spawn, Simon, sorry, I should say the name, the Sweeper and Rainover and Hate Them is actually a group does really well, and we actually played as a team. I'm happy that we played as a team and just win this game.
For you personally, I've seen you like overcome a lot of situations where you've been struggling individually and you've been able to kind of prove a lot of people wrong. So how did it feel today to have such a strong 2-0 performance? I
mean, you know what? It's actually just BO3 games. I just played 3 games. You guys cannot judge me right now. I can be bad at tomorrow too. I can be good, best in the world at 2 days later, but you guys cannot judge me right now. It's like 3 games.
I agree. Having watched you since the junior days, now going forward, you guys will prepare for kind of a best of 1, almost tiebreaker to see seeding and then go to Brazil. What are you looking forward to the most in traveling to Brazil?
Brazil, I heard their barbecue was kind of unique, and we have Myron who is from Brazil, so I actually think he's gonna give us a lot of good experience with now. And I heard fans are massive and massive and massive, so let's see. Maybe they're gonna ooh on us because we are the nose. Well, maybe maybe they just share us a high energy same.
It should be fun either way. Congratulations. It's always great to talk to you. And we will throw it to break. On the other side, we'll see the lounge.